Let's talk commonly confused words. So these are words that people often get mixed up, and sometimes it's hard to remember the difference between them. Unfortunately, there's no easy trick to memorize them except just making yourself aware of them. So the first one that I see often is the confusion of imminent and eminent. All right? Imminent means something's going to happen. Whereas eminent is prestigious. You would use that in front of somebody's name, perhaps, or the eminent doctor. All right. The next, and I see this one often, especially in like literary analysis papers, inferred and implied. So the one thing that helps me remember this, I don't know why, but I can draw arrows. So inferred is something that I can get from something, whereas implied is something that I do. So you infer information when somebody hasn't told you everything. You imply when you're not telling everybody something. So it's kind of the two different directions. Illicit and elicit, all right? First thing to know, elicit is a verb, and it means to pull something out. So if you want to elicit information from somebody, you might be very nice to them. Illicit, I do remember by the first three letters. Usually means something bad, and illicit is something bad. All right, fewer and less than. And this is a tough one here. Fewer is something that you're going to use when you can actually count the items that you're talking about. So if you're talking about coffee beans, you could say, I need fewer coffee beans, because you could actually number out and count the beans. However, less than, you're going to use when you can't count it. So if I was saying I want less coffee than somebody else, that's what I would use, because I can't actually count coffee. So I want fewer beans of coffee, but less coffee. Allusion and illusion. Again, I see this a lot in literary analysis papers. Allusion is a literary technique. So it's when an artist or an author or somebody refers to another artistic piece or another piece of literature. So you're often going to see this maybe in English textbooks or hear about it in history, but not often other places. So you can try to remember it by allusion starts with an A and maybe it alludes to art or something else like that. Illusion is what you might see in the desert if you were very thirsty. You could call it a mirage, but it's also an illusion, something that doesn't really exist. All right? And then finally, and this is actually one of my favorites that always makes me chuckle, especially when I see it in commercials, is the difference between literal and figurative. Now, literal means you're taking something at face value. So you're taking the words and you're not adding any kind of inferences to it. Figurative means you're taking them beyond just their face value. So there's a commercial. I'm from Chicago. There's a commercial that's on all the time during the winter about these rugs that you put in front of door cracks so that the hot air stays in your house and the cold air stays out of your house. And when you watch it, it shows these pictures of dollar bills flying out the door, and the guy says, your money is literally flying out your door. Your money's not literally flying out your door. It's figuratively flying out your door. So literal is face value. Figurative is when you add meaning. So hopefully this cleared up some common confusions with these words and you can get to using them right in your writing.